show. Today I'm going to be chatting to Flora from Future Females, speaking about the importance of understanding the digital world and how you can leverage everything that's available to you to improve your life, both personally and professionally. Watch this. Are we live? We're live! Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Susanna Kennedy and I'm so excited to be with you here today because I'm so passionate about women empowering themselves both personally and professionally. And one of the ways that I know that this can happen is by understanding the current digital world and how we can take advantage of it so that we can really create the best lives that we possibly can. And so that's why I am so thrilled to have Flora with me today. She is the marketing manager and also, what is the other thing you do?
Head of marketing operations. I know it's an obscure title. Like we have this conversation all the time internally. Is like my title is just like honestly a very random one, but I mean it fits specifically what I do. I run all of our campaigns and launches and all of our like ad hoc activations and that sort of thing at Future Females. So yeah, it is very much marketing operations. But yeah, obviously we've got the most relevant activation we're doing coming up is the summit, which obviously relates to digital entrepreneurship. So very excited to be here today to talk with you about it. And I'm also super passionate about this topic. So
I'm so excited as well because for me, it's I know I've worked with you because we worked on the Empowered Summit last year, and it was amazing how much people got out of it. The feedback from it was incredible. And I know Future Females, well, I think there are new people watching. By the way, I can see you guys on Facebook and Instagram. Hi! If I'm looking down, I'm looking at Instagram. If I'm looking here, I'm looking at Facebook just so that I can see your comments. Please remember to say hello and let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. If you don't comment, I don't actually know that you're there. For some reason, I can't actually see. So please do just let me know in the comments below. And I will try and give you guys a shout out whenever I can during the show. But just for the new people who haven't heard of what Future Females is, what is Future Females and why was it created? Why is it such an important organization? Because I believe that it is.
Cool. So for anyone who hasn't heard of Future Female before, we are a community of entrepreneurs. We exist to try and increase the number of and the success of female entrepreneurs around the world. So we're a global organization. We have ambassadors all over the world who are running events and activations in their cities, trying to kind of help empower and help inspire and help kind of activate as many entrepreneurs as we can around the world. Obviously our aim, the reason we started was because our co-founders, Lauren Dallas and Serena Bezedenhout, were looking at the number of female entrepreneurs compared to male entrepreneurs around the world and looking at like why there is that disparity. And they wanted to try and tap into whether it's an education thing, whether it's a lack of desire and all of that sort of thing. And so the company's now actually been running for 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years in August. And the biggest thing that we've seen is that there is a huge demand for this. Women are incredibly passionate and incredibly driven when it comes to wanting to create their own lifestyles and, empower themselves and take responsibility for their own life and their income, et cetera, et cetera. And so starting a business is obviously the easiest way to do that. I say easiest and take that with a pinch of salt because obviously the entrepreneurial journey is not an easy one, but it is a very, very rewarding one, and it does allow a lot of women in our network to create the lifestyle that they want, which is something we're super passionate about and something that we're also driving. So we have people always say like, okay, but how do you guys actually operate? Like, what does Future Females look like? And the reality is we have our community, which is mainly online. Most of our entrepreneurs are running online businesses or online enabled businesses, although not exclusively. And so we have our business school, which is a 3-month accelerator program online as well, that kind of hands holds you through those scary first 3 months of starting a business. And then we have our Founders Club, which is a monthly subscription to a really tight-knit, incredible community of women where you get resources, you get coaching, you get expert interviews, all that sort of thing that's going to help you on your entrepreneurial journey every single month. So yeah, it's an amazing network to be a part of. I absolutely love it. I've been there almost since the beginning, and I've been there for about 4 years. So yeah, it's been amazing.
It is. It's absolutely amazing. And I mean, I've known Lauren, I think, for 3 years now. We spoke at the same event, and that's how I met her. And she really is. I only work with people that I truly believe are authentically aligned with what they are trying to do. So even if they're not doing it perfectly, because none of us are, just by the way, guys, none of us are doing anything perfectly. But the fact that we are continuously striving, that's the important part. The fact that we are constantly going, how can I better this? How can I help people more? How can I shift things for people? That for me is the important thing. And Lauren and Serena have actually become good friends of mine, and now Flora is becoming a good friend of mine as well. And I can see that these women really care. Now, why this is so important for me is the digital space is often scary for women. And I know that sounds like a grand generalization, but it seems that more men have dominated the digital space up until now. And I'm saying up until now as an invitation to you ladies, because the reality is that we live very solidly right now in a digital world. Like, it's very, very present. We're half in this world and we're half in the digital world. If you just think about how much time you guys spend on social media, on websites, on doing business online, we live in a digital world, and now there's a digital economy and all of these things. Do we understand them? Do we understand what this really means for us individually, personally, and professionally? How do we take advantage of these things? And so Future Females is doing a summit. It's going to be a weekend long, and it's all about the digital space. And so I asked Flora to be on the show and give us 5 reasons why getting involved in the digital space is so important for you as a woman. And yes, boys, you are not excluded. Boys are also welcome. I'm just really passionate about getting women into this, but boys are always welcome as well. But what are 5 reasons why this is so important to really understand the digital space that is available at the moment, and what is going on in this digital world, and how can we leverage that personally and professionally? So Flora, I think I kind of encapsulated quite a lot there, but if there's anything you want to add before we dive into those 5 points, please feel free.
No, I think you've said it perfectly. I love that you're calling it an invitation, because I completely agree. And when I was thinking through this topic and thinking about the things that I wanted to talk about, that was the biggest thing that came up for me, is that I was like, this is a self-responsibility issue. Like, women need to be proactive about getting involved, and not just relying on, hoping that the knowledge is going to come to them. They need to go out there and find it. So no, I completely agree with you. I think it is an invitation for women to get more involved, and for the men who aren't involved yet to also get involved.
Absolutely. I always say that, when you hear something, when you see something and it stands out, it kind of echoes in you somehow, that is an invitation from the universe. So each and every one of you that have tuned in right now and are listening to this, hello, the universe is saying get involved. So Flora, what is your first reason why this is so important, why this will make such a big difference?
Okay, so first off, I wanted to talk, and I think it's quite an obvious one, but the reality is, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, as wherever you're at, in terms of whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're working corporate, whatever it might be, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you have to get involved in this technology revolution. It's ever changing. And I think, you've already mentioned that it is scary. And I think that's what puts off a lot of people, is that it feels like this big unknown world and you don't even know where to start, which is so understandable, because it is a big world. And it does move quickly. And I think that also, means that people are less inclined to want to get involved, because they just think, oh, I'm going to start learning about one topic and then the next trend is going to be going and blah, blah, blah. And to an extent, it's true, like it is fast paced and it is moving quickly. But you need to be in that wave. Otherwise, you are going to get left behind. And it might sound a bit brutal, but that is the case. I mean, so, you know, the stats around, for example, women investing in, like, say, cryptocurrency is that it's about half the amount of men. So you've got roughly like 16-17% of men invested in crypto, and you've got about 6 to 7% of women involved. So like really less than half. And that, to me, there's no barrier to entry with buying crypto. Like there's no, you know, people say, I mean, as a comparison, if you look at like women getting, you know, investing in like stocks and shares or something like that, and you're looking at that and you're thinking, okay, now investing in stocks and shares, there is a lot of like regulation, rules you need to comply with, there's minimums, all that sort of thing. Getting involved in crypto, there's none of that. It's online. It's most of, you know, I mean, the whole, this phase of the tech revolution is very much about like decentralization. And you look at like Web3 and all of that sort of thing. It's all about decentralization and taking self-responsibility. So I'm like, there's no reason not to get involved really, other than your own barrier to entry and self-excluding. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve and you want to be in touch with what's happening around the world and where this tech revolution is going, you do have to get involved. It is basically as simple as that. So my number one reason for why you should get involved is because you've got to stay ahead of the curve.
You got to stay ahead of the curve. And like when you say that only about 6% are women, this is what I'm talking about, girls, is that the majority seem to be men. And I've invested in crypto, and Flora and I were actually laughing about it because I've had the most atrocious time. But I also think that part of that is because I haven't created or I haven't become a part of a community that I trusted, that understood this, that was giving me the knowledge that I needed to feel safe in the investments that I was doing and how to actually manage that. And I think that this is key, guys. I think community is always key. It's such an important part of doing anything, is that it is scary. It is scary. It's like, oh my goodness, there's so much information. Who do I listen to? Who do I trust, right? But if you can find a community, if you can find like a small group of people that actually do know what they're doing, or that are also learning with you and getting the right information and collecting the right information together, I think that is the key. And so like I went to Flora and I was like, oh really? Are you into Bitcoin? That's amazing. I still want to learn more. And so now I'm diving in. And it is the currency of the future. And I say that not lightly. I really believe that banks are going to shift and change. It's not going to work the same way for that much longer. Even like within our lifetime, things are going to change drastically. Within the next 10 years, things are changing drastically. So you need to get involved and understand what is really going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I do see you guys online. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I am so happy to have you with us today. I would love to know, while Flora prepares for the number 2, who is in the digital world? Who of you are already investing in Bitcoins, have a business online, anything like that? Just say, yes, invested in Bitcoins, or yes, have an online business, whatever it is, just so I get a feel for who is actually in the room. And good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so Flora, number 1, get involved so that you can stay ahead of the curve. I love that. Hi from Denmark. Hello. I love that we have an international audience tuning in always. Okay, what is number 2?
Okay, so number 2, also potentially a slightly obvious one, but proactive people are more successful. And it is literally that simple. And so it ties in very well with being ahead of the curve. But I'm like, if you look at the people who are doing well in the digital space, it's the people who are putting themselves out there and they're trying and they're diving in. And as we've said already, it's scary, but they are diving in. And I mean, I actually think that you're a perfect example for this point, if you don't mind me saying, because as you say, like, you've not had the easiest journey with crypto, specifically Bitcoin. And, you know, there's lots of different factors to that, but it is that, you know, there are risks involved, of course, as with anything. But for example, like, you're still willing to try, you're still asking the questions, you know, like I brought up there's a Cape Town Bitcoin meetup happening next week, and I mentioned it to you, and you signed up immediately. You're like so there, ready to learn and put yourself back into that space. And I really admire that, and I genuinely do believe that the proactive people are the successful ones. You've got to get out there.
Absolutely, and I think the point that you're making is, and thank you, by the way, for that. But I think that is a valid point, because so many people will try something and it doesn't work, or they get burnt, and so they just move away from it, and they're like, oh no, this is not for me, I'm not going to try it again. But the reality is, guys, when you learn to crawl, you freaking fell on your face 1,000,000 times. And when you learn to walk, you fell on your face 1,000,000 times. But you had to learn to crawl so that you could learn to walk, so that you could learn to live as a human being on this planet. Like, that's what happens. So we are going to fall on our faces. We are going to fail. We are going to have these experiences. But can I tell you something? There is no successful human being who has not failed over and over and over and over again. But the difference is they pick themselves up, they dust themselves off, and they keep trying and take it as, oh, what can I learn from that? What can I shift now when I get up again? And how can I do it differently? So I think this is so important, because I know some of you are scared, and I see some hearts going up. I know some of you guys are scared, but it's because it's scary, but it's always scary until you begin. And once you're in the flow of things, and once you actually find the right support system, things are easier, and then it can get freaking exciting. Like, what you can earn in crypto investments versus anywhere else is madness. And anyone that is involved will know I'm not lying. That's why I'm persisting, because I know in my heart that this is the currency of the future. And that's why, even though I've like been burnt and I've like, I'm like, no, I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna get this right. And Flora, you are helping me. I know you're on my team.
Sure. But I mean, as you said, it is about community, and like that, I think you're so right. We see that all the time with future females. We see it all the time. I mean, again, a bit of a generalization, but and I think it's all a spectrum really, but like some people really respond well to community, and a lot of women do. It really does come down to that we found at Future Females, a massive amount of women, that's what they want. They want the community, they want the support. So like finding things like, so for example, because the crypto world is male dominated, you do have less female groups. So for example, like even today I was thinking I want to be able to just like show some like good people to follow in the crypto space who are female, because obviously we're talking from this like kind of female focused lens. And it's so hard to honestly even find that, like, so often you find yourself listening to like the male narrative, which is fine. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think that like women respond differently when they're hearing from another woman, for example, in some situations. So there's a community called Crypto Cheaters, which is run by Lucia Matek, and she's based in I think Lisbon, I can't remember, but somewhere I think in Portugal. But she's out there, she's doing this. She wanted to get invested in crypto. She's actually had a very similar journey to you, like got burned a few times and was like, no, I'm determined, I'm going to make this work. And she realized so quickly that lots of her friends were then coming to her because they were like, oh, like we want to invest, but we don't know how. And so she ended up building like a crypto for beginners course that's female focused. So like it has that like female kind of edge to it, where it's a bit softer, it's a bit more emotive, it's a bit more about like the why rather than just the how, which I think we find a lot with like the male narrative, is that it's a lot more technical, a lot more like how, and women respond very well to the why. So yeah, I think it is about finding your community and kind of being ready to be a little bit burned, but knowing that if you do find your community, then the chances of you getting burned are much slimmer. Like I actually was also very lucky with this, in that I got introduced to the Bitcoin maximalist space before I even went down the route of like alternative coins. So for me, I got this like very easy slipway into understanding the crypto and Bitcoin world. And so I've been quite lucky there, but I'm very aware of that because I'm like everyone else who I surround myself with in this space have all had a similar journey to you, where like tried this, didn't work out, tried this, something happened here, there, and everywhere. So Yeah, I think you're right. If you can surround yourself with a community who have done it before, learn from others, then you've got less risk. You know, you're taking on board less risk, and you also have a far more fun journey.
You do, and that's what I was going to actually say. And well done to her. That tenacious Portuguese, I know I have some in me too, is so important. But also, like, when you do something does go wrong, to have a community to kind of go, I get it. Like, I'm here. You know, we've got you. It just makes the journey so much more enjoyable. I do see you all. Mary, hi, Alison, hello, Asa, hello, Stefano, hello, Dr. Mavet. Oh, nice name, Dr. Mavet. Hello, welcome, Henry. I'm not going to say all your names, but I am just giving you shout outs. Hello, Samru. Hello, Mark. Hello, Patience. Hello, Ira. Hello, Tanika. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Alistair. Hello, Jamila. I can't say everybody's names. Hello, Gordon. Hello, Kelly. But hello and welcome. It's so great to have you guys here. We are speaking to Flora from Future Females about how understanding the digital world that exists can benefit you both personally and professionally. We are going on to number 3.
Okay, number 3. This for me is my personal favorite, is that the reward is massive. Like so massive. And what people forget when they think about tech and like kind of tech revolution, and they think, you know, your brain at the moment goes to like NFTs, blockchain, metaverse, blah blah blah, all the big ones. But what you forget is that the tech revolution has also given us things like Canva and, you know, email marketing tools that you can use, and social media scheduling tools, social media alone, you know. And I'm like, how insane is that we've been given this ability to tap into a global market immediately, and that is accessible for anyone who can get access to the internet. So I just think that, like, I mean, you know, we talk fine about automation, time saving. One of the big things we always talk about at Future Females is one of your most limited resources is time. And if you can save yourself time by automating, using tech tools online to do that, amazing. You're going to save yourself, I'm going to say it again, so much time. The reality is also the amount of investment opportunities, if you dive into this space, are huge. The financial stability you can build around yourself, the business ideas you can come up with. I mean, I was even just going through looking, as I said, like I was like, I just want some like female focused like narratives to follow, and there just aren't enough of them. I'm like, someone please go and start a YouTube channel just for like female Bitcoiners or something, you know. And it's like, it's not there. And so even just like from a business idea point of view, the solutions that you can build using tech are massive. And I mean, we see it all the time, and we see big innovation, like, you know, people creating plastics out of recyclables or whatever it might be, you know, that sort of level of tech. And then you also see tiny minute things like people creating, okay, so like Uber, that's like a very, very simple idea, but it works so well, and it's allowed people to move around South Africa so much more safely than ever before. And so I just think, you know, tech opens up the world, and the reward for getting involved and embracing the space is huge.
It's massive. And you know, something you said there was that, you know, you instantly, no matter who you are, if you've got the internet, you can connect with the world. And this is so important because the difference, there have been pandemics throughout time, guys, but this is the first pandemic that's happened in the history of time where the whole world has been connected and witnessing what is going on a global level in real time. You know, before you would hear about it there, oh my goodness, this happened somewhere in the world a couple of days, weeks, months ago, you know, but right now we've been going through this completely together. Also, it allowed people to be ingenious and entrepreneurial and go, oh, I lost my job. I can do something online to sustain myself. There are so many different products available, platforms available that are free, absolutely free, that you can leverage to actually create an income online. It is extraordinary. And it's so funny that you said, you know, time is a limited resource. Like, my mission this year is to buy back my time. Like, that's
nice. That's a very good mission.
My mission for the year is like, okay, how am I going to work as clever as possible so that I can buy back as much of my time as possible. And the reality is there are fantastic tools online that I'm leveraging, and slowly, as the weeks are going by, I'm setting them up so that I can buy back my time. Because, you know, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, and my dad shared this little post, this little story about this guy who his mom phoned him, and she said, you know, a friend of ours died yesterday. And he was like, oh my goodness, I think his name was Henderson or something. And this man used to look after him when he was little. He stepped in as a father figure. And as this guy got older, he just lost touch with him. And there was always a little brass box on his desk, and he was never allowed to touch it. That was the one thing. He would always go there and play and, you know, all of these things. But Mr. Henderson never gave that. And then it got posted to him afterwards, and inside was a pocket watch, and it was engraved, "Thank you for your time." Oh, and there goes my phone. Thank you for your time. Don't worry, guys, I'll repost this whole video afterwards. And that's the reality, is like, time is the one most finite thing that we have. So make sure you're investing your time properly. Love the people that are around you. Let them know, spend time with them, you know, but also use your time effectively. And that's what the digital world enables you to do. So yeah, I love that point. I absolutely love it. Okay, I know we're almost out of time, but we do have 2 points left. So we're diving into it.
Okay, my 4th point. So for me, this is a really key one, and it's why I think it's taken me longer than I would have liked to get into the tech world. And that is to find where the real value is. And I think that this is also what puts off a lot of people, is that they're like, there's so much noise. How do you work out what's real and what's not? And so, you know, we've obviously got like this NFT craze going on now, and you can make comparisons to various different, you know, like tech excitement in the past. Like, you know, you had the like .com revolution, things like the cryptocurrency, or like the ICO, when everyone just started creating coins in like 2017, 2018. And the issue with those that we've seen before is that they have been a bubble, and that they've then crashed, and that people have lost like thousands. And the reality is that is going to happen, and you've got to be aware of it. So for example, with the NFT craze, I'm like, as long as you know that this is a hyper inflated bubble right now, and you can pick out where you think the real value is going to be. So I was talking with someone recently, and we were talking about NFTs and where we think the value is long term. And what I thought they explained it really well is that they were talking about how NFTs is obviously, you know, most people will when chatting about NFTs will describe it as like the meeting of the digital world and the physical world. And so fine, you might think now like, oh, a digital piece of artwork and being able to prove that you are the original owner of that piece of artwork is amazing. And the reality is, as we move more into the digital world, which it's inevitable that there is going to be that trend. It might not be for everyone, but it definitely is going to be a trend. And the people who are in the metaverse are going to want to surround themselves with things in the metaverse to show their worth in the same way that we do in the real world. So like, you're driving a fancy car, you've got Picasso on your wall. Well, I don't know if you do, but I don't, but some people do. But you know, you kind of surround your life with things that show, you know, what you've achieved and what you see as valuable and that sort of thing. And for me, that's where I see the value in NFTs, is that I'm like, long term, you're going to be able to create this digital space for yourself, and you're going to have those items, you know, that you then think are worth something for you, and then also hopefully in the grand scheme of things, so that then, you know, if you needed to sell it, etc. So it's worth being aware of where the value sits. And I say that's just my opinion, right? So that's not necessarily even the case. But when you dive into this online space, you do need to be aware that there is a lot of noise, and that you've got to kind of like work out for you where the value is, and make sure that aligns with, like, I always go back to core values. I'm like, make sure you're living your life true to your core values, and that's where you're going to find the most excitement in the digital world, right? And when I talk about value, like finding the value there, I'm like, not just financial value, I mean like value in your life. And that's also what the tech world will give you. If you know who you are and you know what your values are. You know, for example, I mean, this is a really small example, but I'm like, I love habit tracking. I like, you know, knowing that I'm like doing certain things each day that like make me feel good, like drinking enough water, doing some yoga or stretching every day. I do a handstand every day. Long story, I've been trying to teach myself to handstand for about 2 years. It's happening slowly but surely. But you know, and so I'm like, I have a habit tracker that like I check off each day that I'm like, cool, I did the things that I know make me feel good. That's an amazing piece of tech that I can use. For me, that holds value. So yeah, for my fourth point of why you should get involved is like finding the things that are going to make your life better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like and for everything that you can think of, there generally is something already out there. It might not be perfect already, but it's already kind of simmering out there. Although you did give me an idea for a YouTube channel called Bitcoin Babes. Do you know what I mean? Like the Bitcoin Babes. We could meet once a week, Flora, and invite a guest and just chat about Bitcoins, you know.
100%.
Guys, that name is ours, just saying.
Claiming that one.
But there are, and there's so many brilliant ideas out there. For somebody who's a bit ADD, which I am, I'm like an ideas factory. So I have to write them all down and try not to get too distracted because there is so much opportunity. But if you're looking for opportunity, just start browsing the web, start browsing apps, and you'll start getting ideas and you'll start seeing where the gaps are. So it's really, really, really important. All right, so the last thing is point number 5, to change the world. To change the world, Flo?
To change the world, 100%. I'm like, this tech revolution is not going anywhere. It's only going to accelerate. We've seen it just accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. And I mean, okay, so the internet was released to the public 1993, right? It's not even that long ago at all. 29 years ago, 30 years ago, 29 years ago. And it's not even that long ago. And we've seen how rapidly the world has changed. And I'm like, if you want to make a difference in the world, which most people, you know, when it comes down to it, that's what they want to make their mark. They want to leave their mark. And my advice is that tech is only going to help you do that. So if you're here to change the world, get involved.
Yeah, get involved. Guys, this is actually my most important thing, I think. We always are looking for the light in the world somewhere out there, you know? We're always like wishing that somebody would do something. Be the frickin' light that you wish to see in the world. Put on your big girl panties and your big boy underpants and fucking get busy. Oops, I said a swear word on social media. But the reality is like, get busy. If you want to see change in this world, do something about it. You know, Marianne Williamson said to me, it's so interesting, the people who complain about things in life, next time you hear somebody complaining about something in life, ask them what they're doing to change that thing. Like when somebody goes, oh my gosh, there's so much world hunger and stuff, ask them if they're making a monthly donation to any alleviation funds for world hunger. Because I can tell you the people that are actively doing stuff aren't complaining about it, they're talking about the solutions to it.
Yeah,
So
I could not agree more.
Or are you a solution maker? And you get to choose.
And I'm going to say this is probably, I'm going to leave you with an unpopular opinion if you don't mind.
Get it.
Just to add a sprinkle of controversy to the end of this session. I was actually chatting to my fiance about this just now, and I was like, I know for a fact in like 10, 20 years time, there's going to be a movement where people are like, women were excluded from the tech space and, you know, this, that, and the other. And like, this is why women are behind. This is why women don't have as much cryptocurrency and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, the barrier to entry right now is low. We have no excuse not to be taking self-responsibility and being self-reliant and building the life that you want. Take that step. It is literally only you that's going to be able to change your life. And if you want to make excuses and sit back, as you say, and be the complainer, honestly, fine. But I'm here for the people that want to be proactive and who want to change the world and who want to take self-responsibility and get involved. So yeah, my advice to anyone out there is to take on the responsibility yourself. Do it.
Absolutely. That wasn't unpopular at all. I think that was much needed. I say things like that all the time, because it's the truth. It's the truth. If you want to see a change, you've got to make it happen. Unfortunately, nobody's going to come do it for you, guys. If you're waiting for somebody to come and save you, it's not going to happen. I know that sounds really harsh, but it's not going to happen. You have to save yourself. Like, step up and save yourself. And that can be really difficult, but it can also be really easy. It can be as easy as registering for something that is free and actually taking the time to show up and learn something. Investing in something also, though, I must say, I must make a note of this. I know you guys have been phenomenal and you've made this whole event free, right? So none of you have an excuse. Like, you can all register, it's absolutely free. You can go, you can show up. There is something, though, about actually taking your money and investing in something. The energy exchange that happens creates a commitment to actually being present and stepping up. And so I am going to invite you guys to do two things. First of all, sign up for the free digital online event that is happening. It's going to be freaking amazing. Second of all, do something in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, no longer than that, okay, where you take your own hard-earned cash and invest in your future somehow. Whether you buy a course, whether you get a coach, whether you buy a new product that's going to help your company, but do something that takes your money, your hard-earned money, and invest in yourself and in your future. Those are my two invitations to you. Okay, so Flora,
can I add to your invitation very quickly?
Yes.
So firstly, with the Future of Digital Entrepreneurship Summit, as Susanna said, highly recommend joining. It is free. The point of it being free is that we want the information to be accessible, obviously. But I completely agree with you that the value comes when you really invest in yourself too. We are going to be opening the business school doors after the summit. So for anybody who is thinking about starting a business, then we're going to be opening our first cohort of 2022 for the Future Females Business School, which is an amazing 3-month online program after the summit. So definitely tune in. And yeah, we're going to be talking about that a lot. But if you want to get a little bit interested in the digital space, you want like an easy stepping stone in, I promise you this summit is that. It's going to be high level. It's going to be a gentle introduction into how the different aspects of the tech world can help you build a business and impact your life. So definitely, please join.
I took a screen grab of you as you smiled so that I can use it as a cover photo. But yeah, please join. So it's happening. Give us the dates, give us where to register so that people know where to go.
Yeah. So the dates are Monday the 21st of February and Tuesday the 22nd of February. The sessions are all going to be recorded. So if you can't join every session live, then don't worry, you will be sent all of the content to be able to like rewatch it in your own time. In terms of registering, I do believe you have the link. If you haven't got it handy, I can grab it now. But also you can just go to any of our Future Females channels. So we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter. You can see our website, futurefemales.co, and you can register in all of those places for the summit. So yeah, get registering. I look forward to seeing you there.
Amazing. So next week, Monday and Tuesday. So what's important about that, guys, is just to remember that they are recorded. So I know a lot of you will be at work, but you can sneak one in at breakfast, and you can sneak one in at lunch, and you can sneak one in after work, but then you can watch in the evening, and then you can watch for a week or so afterwards.
I think it's actually till Friday. So you've got the rest of the week to
you've got the rest of the week. Okay. And then of course, do something with the knowledge that you get. Like, listen to what resonates with you. Really identify, I've got a Wheel of Life workshop that looks at the areas in your life that are out of balance. But even if you can write them down for yourselves, like, where in your life do you need more stability? Do you need more growth? Do you need more nourishment? Do you need more care? Do you need more support? Like, write those down and go into the summit and look for the speakers that speak to that, or that could speak to that, and then really listen to what resonates with you guys and take action. Take action. So that is it. from me and Flora, the lovely Flora from Future Female. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, so wonderful as always. And to everybody who's watching, thank you for taking the time and investing in yourselves and being here with me today. I really, really, really appreciate you, each and every one of you. I honor you for taking the time, because I know that your time is an investment. And so I see you and I honor you. I'm so sorry I didn't get to say all your names, but I did see you and I did honor you. And once I've posted this video, please remember that Instagram deletes all of your beautiful comments. So I won't be able to read any of them. So please do go to the news feed and write your comments to me so that I can see them, so that I know who is actually here. And I can respond to your comments as well. If you've got any questions about the summit, please pop them below as well. And I would really love to know who is in the digital space, who is active in the digital space right now, and how are you active in the digital space? Please let us know below, so that we can start a conversation, and you can also start thinking about who you're going to listen to and tune into for the summit. Everyone on Facebook, yes, I see you as well. I honor you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody on YouTube, hello, and have a fantastic, fantastic week. Flora, thank you. Thank you, thank you, my darling. And everybody else, bye. Thank you so much for watching the show today. I really, really appreciate it. I would love your support, so please do like, comment, share, save, tag all your friends below. It would mean the absolute world to me. And also leave me your comments. Your comments really give me great feedback as to what stood out for you as the most important thing, realization, aha moment, whatever it was in this video, as well as just giving me feedback on how you felt about the video, any questions you have. I want to hear from you. I'm always interested. I also want to say a very big thank you to my sponsors, Easy Hair Pro, Eccentric on Klurf, Mish from Klurf, Label M, and Sorbet. Wow, what a mouthful. All these beautiful sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always supporting me and making me feel and look fantastic. See you guys soon. Bye.